I'm the Chris who plays games, and this is your CPG rant of the evening. I'm so tired of ranting. I'm so tired of trying to tell everyone around me that things are bad and having it never go anywhere. I'm so tired and worn out on the idea that nothing gets better. So instead of ranting tonight, I will just tell you something that you should know. Instead of trying to tell you in an angry voice, I will tell you in a perfectly reasonable voice. The idea that Twitch is always going to be the 900-pound gorilla in live, the end-all, be-all of live broadcasting, I think it's an idea that may have come and gone. So the reality is that Twitch's content and their audience has stopped growing. And this is kind of weird to me. I mean, it's weird because all of the conversation is always around Twitch, Twitch, Twitch. Everything is Twitch. Everything, Twitch, Twitch, Twitch. Of course you want to be on Twitch. It's where all the people are. It's where all the things are. It's where all the blah, 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 blah. Well, except that's not true. Twitch is not growing. Twitch hit 750,000 concurrents average, or is doing 750,000 average concurrents across their live service. But the thing is that if you exclude a one-time bump in December of 2016, Twitch's numbers stopped growing shortly after their acquisition by Amazon. Shortly after they were, or up until they were acquired by Amazon, they had a linear growth curve. It was going up and up and up and up at a linear rate. And then shortly after they were acquired by Amazon, there was a large bump in December of 2014 when most likely a bunch of people bought PS4s. And since then, since the start of 2015 until now, the only meaningful change in their numbers was a large bump in December of 2016 when they launched IRL. Everything else, if you exclude that one-time bump of 120,000 concurrents, the number of concurrents that they had in the beginning of 2015 was approximately 600,000, and excluding that one-time bump, it is now 623,000. That is a 4% annual gain. That's it. That's all there is. There is no more. There is nothing else in there to pull anything out of. There is no growth coming out of the organic Twitch service. And the answer why, of course, is basic. The answer is that the only way you can find anything on Twitch is if it's at the top of the list. It's the only way. The only way that you can find something on Twitch is if it's near the top of the list. And so that means that you can't grow independent and small creators. It means that you can't grow the audience beyond the people who will watch the biggest stuff out there. And so if you don't want to watch the top game and you don't want to watch the top creator in the top game, then there is no growth to be had. Because how can you grow if all you have to do is compete with the other 73 people who have 10 people watching? How are you going to be found? On YouTube, you're found effectively recommended by your friends. YouTube uses a recommendation system that recommends videos based on what other people like you are watching. People that you watch, who watch videos like you do, are watching. And so the large majority of watch time comes from YouTube's homepage, and suggestion algorithms comes from all of these different ways. And this is something that you can't get on Twitch. So of course they're not going to grow. Of course their numbers aren't going to go up. Of course they're not going to do that. I just realized I don't have my hat. God damn it. My CPG rant now just has to be about my missing hat. I don't have my hat. Also, I don't have a CPG rant emoji yet. That one's I'm not going to fix. But yeah, so Twitch's creators can't grow out of other than at the top of the list. And so it makes sense that their numbers don't grow. But when people talk about the fact that Twitch is the end all be all of everything, when in fact Twitch is at a flat concurrent audience growth rate for 2 years, 2 years, while YouTube is growing 50% year on year overall, and I think they said 100% year on year in live, you're going to sit here and tell me that Twitch is the thing to beat? I'm going to give you the side eye on that one. But no one really thinks about that because Twitch has always been the 900-pound gorilla. Twitch has always been the organization that is out there and doing, the X, Y, or Z, and so people don't think that things might have changed. They don't look at the fact that Twitch isn't growing anymore. They don't look at this. So, yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated by people who can't be sensible. People who can't open their eyes, people who can't do this X, Y, and Z, because I should not be the one who's looking at Twitch's stats. Like, I should not be the one who's telling you that Twitch isn't growing. I should not be the one who's seeing that out there. Like, I should not be the one who's looking at this and saying, and considering writing the Medium piece on this, because honestly, other people who are smarter than me should know this. But I don't see it. All I ever see is people talking about how Twitch is the place to be. Well, you're not that. Like, why am I, the YouTube employee, the one going and scraping the public webpage that lists Twitch's stats and pointing out that the numbers are flat? In fact, you don't even have to scrape it. Just go to stats.twitchapps.com and click full and look at the entire history and tell me if you think that 2016 and 2017 look like their growth years if you exclude the bump in December of 2016. Because to me, it looks pretty simple like it's not. And this doesn't require you to be some mathematical genius. You don't have to be doing that. There's think pieces and clickbait to be writing here, stupid tech journalists. Instead, you're out here slamming people and Casey Neistat and Jimmy Kimmel and whatever fucking bullshit you want to talk about this week. Fine. You know what? You're right. There's probably more money that you know, you can get from clickbaiting about YouTube's stupid, like, you know, whatever it is this week that we've done, because it's always another thing with YouTube. It's always another thing. And I get that it's always another thing, and I'm so goddamn tired of it. And it's not like I can blame creators for being upset when it really is another goddamn thing every week, when it is like, you know, I see these videos and these posts and I'm like, you know, I hear you. I hear you on the communication. I don't hear you on the complete lack of willingness to accept that this is the reality of the world. I don't hear you on the you know, everything is wrong and YouTube is always wrong. And I don't hear you on YouTube never communicates to creators when, you know, I fucking email creators and they don't even read their emails. But I do understand that, you know, we don't do well enough. It doesn't matter if we sometimes do a thing better than we used to do a thing. If it's still worse than what we should be doing, it's still bad, and then we don't get extra bonus points for that. I get that, but yeah, go ahead. I'm sure there's $1 million more to be made in bashing Twitch or YouTube than bashing Twitch, because Amazon is lovely and everyone loves it regardless of the fact that their goddamn service isn't growing for years. This is from my phone. The funny thing is, I actually almost thought about, like, I was going to grab my new stabilizer and bring it out with me, and I was like, ugh, I'm not gonna have time for any video. I'm only traveling to Illinois for like 36 hours, so I don't have to, you know, do this. This hotel room, by the way, is very 70s. I don't know if you can kind of see this as much, but like, they got the popcorn ceiling and the bright gold walls and you know, it's just a very 70s look. Just close your eyes, Brad. Just look at the horizon. Just look at the horizon. Isn't that the way you're supposed to handle seasickness? I don't even know where the camera is. Is this the camera? Hello. Here, have my nose. And yeah, Carl, I did say I wasn't gonna rant, and I don't know. I didn't really intend to rant. It's frustrating to me that that other people don't seem to see that Twitch isn't growing. You lost your moderatorship like ancient times ago, IOPRED. I removed everyone as moderators because I wanted to know who needed moderator bits to post links. So by removing everyone as moderators and then giving people moderator status in order to post links, I have learned that most of my regulars want to post a link at some point. So it'd be really nice if YouTube actually used the approved users feature in like live chat, just like they do in comments. Like if there was any interesting, like, you know, given that we have these 3 categories of users that that users can be in comments, that maybe the same thing could apply to live chat. So you could have people who don't get auto timed out and can post links if they're in the approved users list. But no, we have to do something different and not the same thing. I don't know. I'm so worn out. Like, I started looking at other jobs in Google to see if like there's something I want to do more than work at YouTube, where I just constantly feel like everything's on fire. Yeah, so comments have that. Comments have an approved users thing, and approved users can post links and don't get hit by auto moderation and spam. And so there's already like a field, and there's already a state that users can be in, and yeah. You know what? The reason that we demonize YouTubers, Nicholas, is because YouTubers are demons. That's why. YouTubers are demons. Google rewards. I am sad and angry and pissy and traveling and tired. Hello, Crafty. I'm just many things. There's this question about how we demonize people. I don't think YouTube demonizes people. We don't give them horns. We don't turn them red. It's like none of these things we do. But, you know, we do different things. Did I eat pretzels? I got Biscoff. Here, I'm going to show you something. It's going to be my hotel. My hotel has like an indoor courtyard. Ugh. Anyway. All right. There we go. I didn't have my keys, so I couldn't walk any further. I don't know. I can hangouts do things. I can do a dance party. Choo 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 choo. Yeah. So we dance party people, but we don't demonize them. Is there like a demon option? I've got like a documentary option. Now we're Blair Witching it up. There we go. Or we could go to the silver screen look. I still like this look. I don't know what it's called. There's like probably a technique that it's using, but I like that look. Anyway, okay. Oh, how do I make this stuff go away? There we go. Take on me. Take on me. Take me on. Anyway, so yeah, the reasons why YouTube demonetizes content have been discussed on this channel many times. They are reasonable and oftentimes poorly communicated. They are less perhaps drastic than people think they are. We also have a really shitty classifier that, you know, makes things demonetized even when they shouldn't be, and that's just a way of reality. Anyway, hi gaming lawyer and everybody else. Anyway, hello. So if you wanted a 2-minute CPG rant of 2 minutes of hate, what would your topic for 2 minutes of hate be? I can't give you a gaming lawyer. Brian Wilson, the Texas Law Hawk. I don't have I'm just on my phone, so I don't have the ability to do the things. But you probably don't understand, Nicholas. But the reality. So Hank Green did a 33-minute video explaining demonetization today. I would suggest that watching his video would be the best way to do this. Hank has been on YouTube for more than a decade at this point. He is routinely in communication with YouTube. He is a smart and balanced guy who's going to present things in a decently fair light. So I think it's on a channel called Hank's Channel. You can probably search for like Hank Green demonetization or something like that. If you're really interested and can't find it, I'll put it in my Discord later. Hank Green does make Discord, and his brother John Green makes books. Although I guess maybe the other one's doing a book now. I don't know. I'm confused. Drone regulations. So drone regulations were too little too late. The FAA's position on drone regulations has been absolutely atrocious, because what they have done is pretended there's regulations when they are not. And pretending there are regulations when there's not is ridiculous. Like, pretending that there are regulations when there's not is going to take the people who would otherwise follow regulations that are legally created and mandated and have them say, like, well, we can't believe you, FAA, because you just lie through your teeth about whatever the you feel like. And that is absolutely asinine. It is also the case that the drone regulations that have been passed are clearly targeted at things up to 55 pounds, and the idea that a 2-pound drone and a 55-pound drone should be regulated in the exact same way is completely moronic. There should absolutely be exceptions to the drone regulations that exist for small, ultralight drones, similar to the Mavic, because the lower risk they present to the national airspace and to individuals is drastically lower, and I just do not understand why this is something that has not gone through yet. I mean, I understand because no law ever passes Congress ever, but the FAA's work towards regulations has also been terrible. They are, you know, ruining their reputations by lying about them. They are doing things that are bad for the safety of the national airspace by lying about them, and by doing that, they ruin their credibility so that when they did pass regulations, people are just like, oh, that's not a law, because people don't change their opinions ever. Once they learn a thing, they will never unlearn a thing. And so while it was true for a long time that they had no regulations while they were saying they had regulations, they are now in a situation where they have regulations and they're still saying they have regulations, but people don't believe them. Overall, the rules that have been created are not that bad, but airspace authorizations for commercial related stuff is garbage, and I hope they come up with a better system, but overall it's not too bad. Yeah, I'm currently like less than a mile from, I'm like less than a half mile from the runway of O'Hare, so I'm not gonna be flying anywhere right here. I did bring my drone, but I'm probably not gonna use it anywhere because I don't think I'm gonna find a good spot to do so. But I brought it anyway because you never know. Yeah, so overall, the FAA's drastic misstatement of existing regulations and continuing and ongoing misstatement of existing regulations is bad. Actually, that balcony is probably fine. So that balcony is indoors. So the whole thing there, although it's like a courtyard thing, and the whole thing looks like you're looking out on an outdoor space, is actually open, and I don't think there would be any technical issues or legal issues with flying indoors because the FAA has no authority indoors because indoors is not part of the national airspace. So if I wanted to fly in the hotel, I could do that from a legal perspective. I would only face the getting kicked out of the hotel perspective. So I told you, yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you like it, Mark. I think the Spark was a good purchase for you, and I think that you know, I'm glad it's working out. I was worried about the indoor use being a disaster, and I know that you ran into the standard like DJI software. Like, it's amazing that you can be a company probably, you know, selling hundreds of millions of dollars in gross product and still have software that completely doesn't work on any platform whatsoever. It's atrocious, just atrocious. But I've just gotten used to their software being terrible, their instructions being like pidgin English, and their support being garbage. So you adjust to these things and then forget about them because of Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, I don't know. Work has been stressful, and that wears me out. I had conversations today that were stressful. I've been not getting enough work done. And then I was sick yesterday because I went to the doctor on Wednesday and I got a flu shot and a pneumonia vaccine. And I'm still not actually sure why I got the pneumonia vaccine. I think they gave it to me just because I have asthma, and they just give it to people who have asthma now. But yeah, so I got a flu vaccine and a pneumonia vaccine, and the combination of them made me like totally like gross yesterday. So like my arm still aches. I discovered I have a lymph node in your armpit. I had no idea you had lymph nodes in your armpit. So my lymph node in my armpit hurt well enough that I couldn't get to sleep on Wednesday night. Yeah. Oh man, at some point I think I'm gonna have to update the firmware on mine. I think I've gotten away with it so far because I I haven't actually hooked up the iPad that I have the DJI Go software installed on to the internet, like, and let it install app updates since I bought the drone in like May or something. And so I think that there's an update of the DJI software that came out later that makes me update the firmware, but as it is, it just yells at me that my firmware is out of date and doesn't make me update it. Because I did actually, like, in good faith, like, I'm flying a flying robot here, I should update the firmware, blah, blah, blah. And so I spent like an entire afternoon at one point trying to update it and letting the drone sit for like, you know, an hour and a half each time trying to update it when I'm like, my daylight is leaving. And finally I was like, fuck it, this is never gonna work, I'm done. So hello, Amber, it's good to see you. Oh, you weren't talking to me, you were talking to the other Chris or something. I don't know, I don't have a hat and I feel weird. No hat. Yeah, Cosmos says you're fat. Well, I don't down with that. I ain't down with that. Cause I'm so bad at this. I could use a lampshade. I could just like hide my head underneath here. Oh God, that was a bad mistake. I could just go into you know, we could just go back into haunted mode. Now I don't need a hat because I am negative man. See, like if I do like this, my bald spot, nope, still visible. Never mind, I take it back. Yeah, there's so many things I want to rant about right now, but they're all about work. And they're all about things that I can't talk about at work, and it's frustrating. Oh yeah. yeah, so much. Anyway, I'm in Illinois because my cousin turned 2 last week, and so he's having a birthday party tomorrow. Yeah, so, yeah, oh, God. No, yep, not gonna sing a thing. Not gonna get myself fired. That's a good thing. I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna switch hands though, because my arm is getting tired. Anyway, so overall, let's see, so Extra Life is coming up, and I don't know what I want to do for Extra Life. So historically, Extra Life has been, I already, like, I sent an email earlier this week, and then I had to have a meeting about that email, and that's enough. Yeah, I mean, one of the problems is that, like, this is a problem with, like, working for a company that pays you a really good salary, is that it's really hard to adjust your cost of living back down after you've adjusted it up. And so, like, when I look around and I'm like, oh man, like, I should go work for, you know, this group that is doing this XYZ. But I love YouTube. I love YouTube as a platform. I love YouTube as a website. I love YouTube as a product. Like, I honestly do. I actually enjoy the product I worked on. Like, I used Nokia Maps out of, like, Stockholm Syndrome requirement. Like, when I worked at Metacarta, like, I worked on OpenLayers, which was a product that, you know, was not Metacarta's core product. Like, when I worked at WeDo, I did marketing and web design for like, companies all over New England, but I didn't like, those weren't products I used. I love YouTube. Like, I love going on YouTube and downloading a bunch of I was just watching like a sci-fi video that was recommended to me earlier, which I think I watched like back in 2014 at some point, but like, and it was good, and I downloaded it and I watched it on the airplane, and you know, it had automatic captions that were right for all but like 6 words in this 14-minute long, you know, short film. And like, that's a thing you can't do anywhere else. Like, there is no other product like that. And even, like, no matter what part of the product that I work on, like, there's the people doing incredible things. You know, when I'm working on the video infrastructure team, I am working with people who are running 20% of the bits over the internet. When I'm working with the, you know, the gaming team, I'm working on people who are building, like, you know, the second biggest live platform and the largest gaming related video content platform on the internet. I am constantly working with all of these brilliant and smart people working on hard problems and doing them well, but at the same time, I am frustrated because I cannot affect the change that I want to do. I cannot impact the company enough. And the only reason that I can't impact the company in the way that I want to is because I work at a company that is doing all these things. Because the reality is that you can't run 20% of the bits on the internet if you're a company with 12 people. And I know Instagram changed the world of photography with 12 people, but that's like the exception that proves the rule. And I just don't, like, there's no way you can get those benefits from working anywhere else. And so when I look around and I'm like, oh man, I get so angry and upset and everything else like that. And then I'm like, but I love what I do and I love where I work, and I like the frustrations are part of that. But yeah. And yes, Instagram was bought by Facebook. Yes. But they were bought for $1 billion when there were 12 guys. That's correct. On the line, Chris GC. I would have had no idea of that, what that quote comes from, if I had not seen The Internship. And why did I see The Internship? Because of YouTube TV. Because YouTube TV went out there and got content agreement and partnerships with a bunch of movie channels, so I can just go on my computer and go on YouTube TV and you know, like, open this up. And so, like, even my knowledge of The Internship and quotes from it is something that I only got because of a service that YouTube has. So, yeah. Sigh. I don't know. But yes, I am out in Illinois because it is my nephew's second birthday. And so my whole Jess was like, hey, we should go out. And so we went out, and my whole kind of extended family is coming. So I'll be seeing my grandmother, grandfather, and I'll be seeing my aunts and uncles and everybody else like that, as well as my brothers and my parents and blah, blah, blah. And I'm staying really near the Sheraton in Chicago, or the Sheraton near O'Hare. What I actually meant to say there was I'm staying near O'Hare in the Sheraton. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Come find me. Ugh! You'll know you're in the right place when you walk in the hotel and it has a giant courtyard that's enclosed in the middle. I don't know. So I think I did some CPG ranting. Oh yeah, or chaos. There's been like 4 different mini rants. I'm not like super prepped. I'm worn out. I'm just worn out. I'm worn out of explaining the same things over and over to people who will argue in bad faith. I'm tired of attempting to cover within the social forums that I have access to for YouTube's chosen lack of communication. You know, I saw another tweet go by today that I'm just like, you know, had we made the post that I suggested 3 weeks ago, we would have prevented this particular thing from happening. Like, I mean, it's not my responsibility, but I don't know. I don't, my next therapy appointment was last Monday. Like, I just did this. And you're right. You can't fix stupid, and I shouldn't argue with or discuss things with idiots. The problem is that I actually have... I enjoy having conversations with people who argue in good faith. I enjoy having, you know, conversations about our process or what they misunderstand or other things like that with people who actually want to listen, because it lets me like learn more about what I should say in general. If I like talk to people who are reasonable and they let me see what isn't covered well or what they don't understand or anything else like that, then I can take that information and take it back to people whose job it is to argue with idiots and say, hey, write a Help Center article about this, or hey, let's get some official messaging out about this, or other things like that. And so while the actual effects of the arguing with idiots part is bad, the positive benefits that could come from that are good, except I have not found any way to make that effective. Like, I have not found the in. I have found people who care, but I have not found the people who care who have the authority. And so, like, I just go in a circle all the time, and it's stupid. It's really dumb. It's really dumb. It's a non-scalable way to do it. And so, like, I actually sat down after I got back from my vacation in August, and I said, okay, here's a persistent myth that is going around, has been going around for years, that YouTube does not recommend content that it demonetizes. That if it's not running ads, it will not get recommended by YouTube. But that's not true. What is true is that, like, there are some things that cause your video to not be recommended by YouTube, which also cause it to not be, recommended for advertising, but that's a different story. And so, like, I'm like, okay, well, let's do like a help center article or a blog post or a product forums post or something. Let's put this message out there that it's like you've got the causation backwards, and like that, this is not the way it works. And I'm not saying that decision, if we were making it, would be fair or not fair, but it's something that, is not done. And so, like, we should be more upfront. We should be more open and say, like, this is what is actually happening. Like, there are some things that cause your video to not be recommended and to not have advertisements. There are some things that just cause your videos to not have advertisements. And there are some things which cause your video to just not be recommended. Like, and you could still have ads. But none of that has to do with whether you turn the switch on. None of that has to do with whether, it's running ads. None of that has to do with these other things. And so we didn't communicate that. And so, like, I tried to get that out there and failed. I tried to talk to people about these things and it failed. And now Matt Pat is out there posting things and whatever. And yeah, I mean, Gaming Lore, Outlast is, I'm not sure that Outlast is appropriate for anything. I mean, so, or in the particular case of the Patreon thing, right? Like, I actually replied. In Jim Sterling's Reddit thing, someone pulled me in, and I responded. I said, like Jim Sterling's micro rant after the tweet from Jack Conte in his recent video. I didn't listen to it. I just read the transcript because I can't stand listening to that guy. He's totally right. Like, he could have pulled that rant from my inbox. Well, thanks, Sophie. It is so frustrating that we didn't do better communication, and I can, if I could have an honest and straightforward conversation about the process that led to that series of screw-ups and how maybe next time we'll do better, then it would be great. Because, anything that Jim Sterling says is something that I'm saying too, pretty much. There's limits, but that's it. Do I enjoy eating ramen? Not really. It's typically too salty for me. But yeah, Sophie, I think overall I'm feeling a little bit down because I'm feeling ineffective in affecting change at YouTube in the ways that I want to. I'm feeling ineffective at making things better, and it's sad. Or yeah, I have. I've done ramen in Japan and other things like that. Overall, I have not found that just ramen as a dish is usually for me. I mean, it depends a lot on what you're doing and anything else like that. But I have had like ramen served in a Japanese restaurant in San Francisco. I have had ramen in Japan. I have had ramen from actually, yakisoba or whatever, like cheap Japanese branded ramen, and then I've had like the cheap, top ramen, and I have generally find all of those to be too salty for the most part. So anyway, yeah. So I think that my biggest feeling is that I feel ineffective. That's the biggest thing. I would like to feel more effective at affecting change within the company that I work for, and it doesn't seem like that's possible, which makes me wonder what the point is. You know, what difference do I make? And just like, sure, I've helped dozens of people get their accounts unsuspended. Sure, I've helped a half dozen people recover their accounts after spammers take over them. Sure, I've helped reassure, you know, a handful of people within our community of things, or filed bugs or anything else like that. But if I can't stop the big shit, if I can't stop the things that get people angry, if I can't stop the things that make people upset, if I can't do any of that, like, should I keep trying? Like, is it worth it to continue the conversations? And the problem is that while I work at YouTube, I won't personally, I think, be able to set down the arguing with idiots part. And I think that that's my big issue, is like, while I work at YouTube, I continue to want to help YouTube users. I continue to want to be a voice to the community. I continue to want to advocate for these things. But if I'm not effective at that, then I'm kind of wasting my time. I'm wasting my time on things that could be maybe making YouTube better, you know, like, okay, I can't change that aspect, but maybe at least I can make the videos buffer less often. Like, maybe I should redirect every bit of effort that I put into understanding that someone has said on Twitter or Reddit, or correcting a misconception, or talking to users, or streaming on you know, making the YouTube video playback experience better. Maybe I should spend all of my time trying to improve that instead. Maybe it's not worth it to do this. And if YouTube is going to fail because it cannot communicate to creators, if YouTube is going to fail because it cannot keep up with this, you know, onslaught of communication, or not fail, but just become a different kind of platform where smaller creators don't feel heard and they go elsewhere, maybe that's all I can do. No, YouTube is not too big to fail. I mean, people would say the same thing. No, YouTube is not too big to fail at all. I think YouTube, it would be very easy for a service like YouTube to fail. I think both Amazon and Facebook are poised to take YouTube's place as premier video destinations. I think they've both already got, I mean, Facebook is already clearly targeting the UGC content creator, and Amazon is already, you know, owns Twitch and already owns Amazon Video, and could combine those into a compelling platform and video offering or anything else like that. I mean, I think it is a good sign that YouTube makes money, that it has revenue, right? Like that changes some things. You know, if you look at Google Plus or Google Reader or other things like that, there are lots of things out there that are, you know, have been killed by Google and maybe didn't generate quite as much revenue. But yeah, I don't think VidMe will go bankrupt in a year, but I do not think that they are long-term viable. They are clearly, they're not long-term viable in their current state. I think that their strategy of saying, like, we're the platform that isn't going to censor you, with leadership and people who are explicitly, like, taking away content because it criticizes the platform, which at least is the myth out there, is certainly not compelling. There's very little evidence that VidMe is growing. If you look at random channel features, like, basically, like, VidMe is a place where creators go and talk to other creators for the most part, with the exception of small insular communities that have migrated. They, again, similar to Twitch, have no way of doing meaningful recommendations based on a deep learning pipeline, have no way of of, serendipitous discovery. And I think serendipitous discovery is what makes, that happen. And yeah, there's YouTube criticism on YouTube for a lot of reasons, right? Like, one, creators care about the things creators care about, so they make videos about the things that they care about. So, for every creator out there, I most of my videos are YouTube criticism in some way or another. So it makes sense that creators complaining about the platform are there in spades. But you also have to keep in mind it's a small portion of overall YouTube. YouTube is full, just absolutely packed with incredible content. And I know people bandy about the huge numbers of 500 hours uploaded per minute or whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, okay, fine. 10 hours a second of video, there's a lot of video out there that you can do something with. But even beyond that, there is good content. There's lots of good content. There's lots of, short films or all the things that we put on these social playlists. There's 1 or 10 duds in there, but I put together playlists of hundreds of videos at this point, and we hang out, we watch them, and it's fun. It's fun to watch these videos, and that's not me, giving the best of YouTube. This is literally just me going through my personal interest and trying to find some interesting content. And yeah, not every video is going to be for every person. I know that Brad hates my chiptune 8-bit synthesizer guy, but I think that there's just so much cool shit out there that you can watch and enjoy. You don't have any short videos, Brad. You need 4-minute videos. If you did an 8-minute, Isaac speedrun video, I would totally toss that in there. I've included a Jose video, I think, and a Barb video and a Stingray video. And yeah, but they got to be short. We're not going to sit and watch one of your 3.5 hour long live streams, because live streams are boring as shit. That's true. I could add one of those in there. Yeah. That's one thing I would actually love to see, is YouTube implement a feature like that, and then let creators monetize it via super chat. So you make a playlist, and people can watch it, and then they can super chat you, and you get the money, and we all just hang out. And I would just make that that would be a viable business. I'm just gonna run a TV channel as a YouTube playlist, and I'm gonna hang out here, and I'm gonna be the hostess with the mostest, and we're gonna watch this. So it's gonna be fun. That's what I want YouTube to do. I don't know if we ever will, but that's what I want. Oh, it does seem right, Brad. I think that's exactly what should happen. That's what I do now with gaming content, right? I get money for showing other people's video game content. So I don't know. Okay. All right. Any non-YouTube related questions? Because I got to get off this whole work YouTube topic. If there is one thing that you want to know about me that is not related to my job, what would it be? Hello, Emily. Do I have my thing? I do have my thing. All right, we can walk out here, because I can walk to the actual edge. Woo-hoo. I am 5 foot 8 3/4 inches, according to my doctor's visit just a couple days ago. My flight was good. It was easy. I just read my I just read my Kindle the whole time, so that was fine. Actually, I watched a couple of YouTube videos, like I said, on the plane that I had downloaded while I was taxiing, because I didn't actually do any prep work for the flight. But yeah, take care, Sophie. Hello, Hassan, and hello, somebody else. Somebody else came in. Oh, Emily. Okay, I said hi, Emily. I am reading 70s by Neil Stephenson. The next game I'm looking forward to. I honestly don't know what games are coming out. I'm looking forward to Super Mega Baseball 2 because Brad's gonna play it more, I think. But maybe it already came out. I don't remember. But I don't really ever know what's coming next. I found out about Cuphead about like 6 days before it released, and I'm still really excited to get back to it and finish the game up. Super Mario Baseball 2 is never going to come out? Oh, that's sad. Or are you just saying that because it's been forever? So yeah, I honestly, I never know. I want more games. I want more, I don't know. I love Shovel Knight. I love Cuphead. I love Limbo and Inside. I want more good platformers or running guns or other things like that. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm reading 70s, which is a book by Neil Stephenson. It's based on the idea that the moon is destroyed, and because the moon is destroyed by something, it breaks up into a bajillion pieces, and basically the people of Earth have a short period of time to get off of Earth and into space, and survive, because the moon, after being broken up into a bajillion pieces, is going to crash to Earth. I don't know if Wolf 2... I don't know, I haven't looked out at it. Is it... My feeling with Wolfenstein was that it felt... I don't know. So the original Wolfenstein I don't have a problem with, because it, although it is technically an FPS, it's not really an FPS. I don't know if that makes sense. It's not really... I guess it's just not fast moving in the same way. Doom really brought in the fast moving FPS thing. And so, yeah. I'm not looking for old games. I want more new games to exist in these veins. I want people to play the games. I want not just me, but people to play the games I like. I love Cuphead. Hey, Chris's face. And I'm really enjoying... watching all these people play Cuphead. It's been really, kind of enjoyable and entertaining. Yeah, I mean, I think that yeah, I just can't, I can't even make excuses for that. Yeah, no, I mean, Cuphead is really pretty, and Cuphead is just a really special, piece of art. And so, I think that is a the brothers who came into that, I think it's friends, whoever, the two guys who came in and said we want to make Cuphead, they came in with an artistic vision that was strong, and they stuck to it and implemented it and did a good job with it. And I think that was key. Mama Dora. With Brad, I can never tell if I'm being trolled. But on Monday, I plan to play Star Fox 2, which I haven't played. Take care, Celso. Have a safe travels back to home, or wherever else you're going. Yeah, I don't know. All right, more questions. Oh, I got 20% battery left, so we will do another 5 minutes of streaming. And then I'm going to bail and go to bed. So you got 5 minutes to ask me any questions you want. Any questions you want. Any other, ask me anything. Yeah. I'm a boring live streamer. I wonder how, Ice Poseidon I've never actually watched his live streams because the guy's a total tool. I've not seen Blade Runner yet. Hob, I saw Hob at PAX East, and I had the same thought of the like I think I would like this game, but it looks like it would be really long. I've kind of moved away from Metroidvanias because getting lost and like recovering my track 73 times has been kind of a problem. I've not seen the Blade Runner. I've not ever seen the original Blade Runner. I've never ever seen any Blade Runner. So Brad, time out Stone Raven. They're being annoying. Or don't. I mean, it's up to you, but you're being annoying, Stone Raven. I also have never watched Demolition Man, which I guess I should see. I've played Super Mario Run on Jess's iPad, but never really played it myself. I've never played it on my own, that is. Oh, I guess I can time out people too. Who knew? Anyway, hello Zyber. Alrighty, what was I saying? But yes, so I've not seen the new Blade Runner, not seen any Blade Runner ever, not seen Demolition Man, I've not seen, like, name a movie you think I should see, and I probably haven't seen it. I did watch the Canadian sci-fi show Continuum for 2.5 seasons, which was really dumb. I mean, it wasn't really dumb, but it was not worth 2.5 seasons. The Three Shells, The Shining. Never seen The Shining, read the book. I have seen Biodome. Yes. Gotcha. So there are people who are doing like Blade Runner on like 70mm or something recently. Yeah, I also found out. So I had said that the hotel. Oh, of course I've seen War Games. I love War Games. When I was a kid, I watched War Games and I watched Ghostbusters. I watched Ghostbusters so many times that the tape wore out and like got jammed in our VCR. I used to watch it 2 times a day for like 2 years. So that was the movie that I watched most growing up, probably. Oh, yeah, so I had said that the Mount Washington Hotel was the basis for The Shining because that's what I have been told a bunch of times, including by people who work at the hotel. But it turns out that the hotel in New Hampshire isn't where the basis of The Shining came from. It came from the hotel in like Estes Park, Colorado. And so like I have no idea how this myth that the Mount Washington Hotel is what it is, other than like they're very similar looking hotels that have a lot of like similarities and everything else like that. And also obviously the New Hampshire Hotel is closer to where Stephen King would have lived when he was, writing, because he's usually in Maine and Derry and all these other places. But yeah, I had always, when I was growing up, thought the hotel in question was in Colorado because I thought that was where the book was set. The Overlook. I believe you. I've already demonstrated I was wrong, but yeah, they will tell you if you go on the historical tour, they will tell you that The Shining was based on this hotel, and it was not, which is kind of silly. So. The Stanley Hotel, that sounds better. Gaming Lawyer sounds like he's got it. Also, Gaming Lawyer, you should be working. If you can't stream against me, you're supposed to be working. Talents of do some work. I got a point over here. There we go. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, never seen it. You're not working, you're typing here. You can't type here and work at the same time. I know how document review works. You have to actually read those documents. You can't read and type at the same time. I mean, maybe you can. I guess maybe you can. I used to be able to. Bogus Journey. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey rather than Excellent Adventure. It's global thermonuclear war, Chris GC8. I don't think it's bionuclear warfare. Maybe that's one of the options, but I don't think it was. Would you like to play a game of chess? Wouldn't you rather play a game of chess? Yeah, don't misquote War Games. I'll just quote it right back at you. I've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I've seen War Games. I've seen Ghostbusters. I've seen let's see, what else? Tron. Seen Tron. Not the new one, which was, I guess, just like a Daft Punk music video, but whatever. Hackers, yes. So my first, well, you know this because my thing, but yes, my first kind of online username that I made for myself was going to be Zero Cool when I was making a GeoCities account, but because Zero Cool was taken, I became like Zero Cool 84 because clearly that was very original. I have seen. You just asked about one. Yep. I like Rounders. Princess Bride. I've seen. And I've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show in I saw it in the Harvard Square theater showing of it. So I saw it with all the people doing all the things that I didn't understand. I was not appropriately, dressed or participatory, but I was in a place where at least people were participating. But yes, I've seen Princess Bride. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, I am past my 5-minute mark and my battery is going to die, so I think I'm going to call it here. Thank you all for coming out. I did not know if I would have internet to stream, but it turns out that my internet here on my phone is actually noticeably faster than my internet at home, so go T-Mobile. And I will be back on Monday. I'm going to play Star Fox 2 on Monday. So hopefully you all got at least a little bit of your evening CPG out of this stream. And yeah, Twitch is dead. Use YouTube. We suck at communication, but we're good at everything else. Well, Gaming Laura, you should have been working instead of typing. I'll catch y'all later. Have a good night. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.